With the release of DayZ Update 1.19 to experimental, they also added in a new vehicle engine to hopefully combat the lagging, bouncing and flying that cars used to have on previous versions of the game. And I have to say, it is a lot better, but it's still not 100% perfect. So since 1.19 came out, I have been playing a lot of it and I've been driving a lot of cars around. I've driven the standard cars, I've driven the Humvee as well. The only thing I haven't driven is the M3S truck. But with that and with the time I've been playing it now with about a week or so, I've got to experience how the vehicles lag, how they don't lag anymore, how the vehicles move, the new suspension system, the new physics, all that kind of stuff. So in today's video, I'm going to kind of break it down and give my opinions on it, give you the good sides and the bad sides and what needs a bit of tweaking, so on and so forth. So to start off straight away, the bouncing and flying of the cars is fixed. They don't bounce and they don't fly anymore. They do still lag every now and again, but that's, down to server performance and stuff like that. We are playing this on experimental and the experimental servers don't really run very well. Even the community ones don't run very well. They're not the best things to be testing vehicles on. I have been able to drive these cars quite a bit. I've driven them on full pop official servers with near 200 ping. The cars didn't move at all, they didn't bounce, didn't fly. Bit of desync, but otherwise than that they were pretty fine. I've also played them on low pop servers with 40 ping and the same thing happened. Small bit of desync. Sometimes they would rubber band as well, but otherwise they were still pretty good. With these vehicles, they do bounce a lot when you're driving on roads, and that is the physics of the actual cars. The cars seem to have a bit more suspension than the previous ones did. You do actually notice bumps in roads now a lot more, especially if you're like driving the back roads up to Tissy military base, for example, on Chernobyl. That road is incredibly bouncy and you do notice it quite a lot. That being said, with these new vehicles, they are a bit different and they do perform a little bit different, so you have to take that into consideration. If you're planning to get into one of these new cars and just go as fast as you physically can with these things, you're going to crash and your car's probably going to flip on you or something like that. But it is nice not having to worry about your vehicle taking off and going to the moon every other second. Another good thing that came with the update for the vehicles was now you can carry a spare wheel in the car. It has its own spare wheel slot. And that has come in quite useful quite a few times to me so far. No matter how good you are at driving cars in DayZ, you will crash at some stage. The damage on the vehicles is still the same, so even if you're driving kind of slow, the cars do ruin pretty quick, or they do get damaged, or you will damage a tire or blow a tire out. That I think still needs to be addressed in my opinion. It needs to be buffed, I think, because even going at slow speeds, and if you hit, a tree or a rock wall or something like that, at worst you'll knock yourself out in the car, and at the least you'll damage the car in some way, shape or form. A lot of people have been putting the vehicles to the test over the past while, and there has been some videos on Twitter and stuff of cars flipping, bouncing, stuff like this. It seems the faster that you drive the cars, the more problems you might encounter. With the cars obviously having this new kind of physics to them as well, they do bounce a lot on the roads, like I was saying, over bumps. So the faster you're going to do them, the harder the car is going to hit these bumps, and it can impact the car and make it flip, stuff like that. So you just need to be careful. There is a new thing they added into these vehicles, which is the handbrake. So your car has a handbrake, so if you turn your car off, park it on the hill, it won't slide down the hill, it will stay perfectly still. Sometimes if you don't engage the handbrake, your car will just slide and it will just keep going until it hits something that makes it stop. So you need to be careful of that as well. There are some instances where the cars just slide even if the handbrake is on and stuff like that. It seems to be a bit of a bug. I'm hoping that will get fixed down the road. There has also been some issues on the official servers of where your character will disconnect. Sometimes you get a disconnection error saying unstable connection and it kicks you from the server. It's happened to me twice while I've been driving around, and both times the car has stopped. I've spawned outside the car and the car was still perfectly fine, no damage to it whatsoever. Both these times I was driving at relatively slow speeds. One time I was going around a corner. Actually, both times I was going around a corner and I spawned back in and the cars have stopped. They have tapped against the wall, but they're not damaged or anything like that, which is good to see. That is an improvement. Now at fast speeds, I don't really know what the situation is. I haven't really driven the cars at like a really crazy fast speed because you are just going to end up breaking the car, basically. I don't know if a solution to this would be to introduce a speed limit or a speed cap on the cars. So maybe you can't go any faster or drive the cars any faster than like 80, 90 kilometers an hour or something like that, because now some of these cars you can take them up to like 120, 150 kilometers an hour. It's fast and it's fun to drive at that, but it is quite dangerous as well, and you will more than likely ruin your car. So that could be something to see. Another thing with the new kind of physics of the cars is they don't really have any grip. Over the past while of driving, especially when you're braking or slowing down into a corner, the cars just tend to slide. The devs did introduce a new kind of braking system where you have to hit like S and control or S and shift to be able to slow the cars down. They do like heavy braking and soft braking. If you apply either of these, your car will stop, but it will keep sliding. And there's been a number of times where my car has slid into a barrier or something like that and I've crashed. Also as well, the cars understeer like crazy. So if you're going around a corner at a bit of speed, you'll turn the car left and your car will basically keep going straight, vice versa with going right. So they need to do something to fix with that as well. I did notice that like straight away, even the day the update came out and I was testing it on my private server, they basically understeer like crazy. The turning circle, especially on the new Humvee as well, is a little bit bad. Now, I don't know what the turning circle of a Humvee is like in real life. It could also be bad, which would make sense as to why it is in game, but it's very, very slow. So if you're going around those roadblocks that do be on Charters and Livonia, be careful because you might have to reverse and then turn to go around certain corners. As well, the damage on the Humvee is very, very weird. When you crash or if you drive over like one of those stone walls that's like only has like a little bit of on the ground, I've driven over one of them and it's like damaged the side of my car and like damaged and badly damaged like tires and stuff as well, which seems kind of bad for a military off-road vehicle. As well, the off-road vehicle doesn't really seem to have much grip going uphill, especially if you stop on a hill and then try to drive up it, your car will just slide back down it. Stuff like that I think needs to be adjusted. So yes, the new vehicle engine is a lot better. Obviously it's not 100% perfect and this is why it's in the experimental stages of things, and I'm hoping they will do some changes and fixes to it. So my overall opinion on the new vehicle engine is yes, the cars do perform a hell of a lot better. They don't have great grip, they don't have great braking either, so you just have to be careful while driving the cars. Drive them a little bit slower, you don't have to go to dead crawl, but don't max these cars out as you will just kill them instantly. I'm hoping they do tweak the grip on the vehicles a bit and the braking and stuff like that, and if they do that, these cars will be perfect. The desyncing and kind of rubber banding as well just depends on what servers you're playing on. I was playing on official. They're known for not being the greatest quality of servers. They did still work and I got only desync some of the time, so it's a lot better than previously. When 119 hits stable servers and we can play on, you know, community servers or whatever type of servers we like to play on, that'll be the best test for cars then. I'm really looking forward to trying them. It's going to be interesting to see how they affect modded vehicles as well, and overall it's going to be a really good update when it does fully come out. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As usual, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on it, your ups and downs you've had with the cars, all that good stuff. And until the next one, I shall catch you guys then. So peace out for now.